Hello. So we're back. Sorry about that, y'all. That was a lot. So, like I said in my last video, go watch part one. I guess I can make that a part one. I am because I want y'all to because it makes sense to this one. So it's part two to that video. So what I was saying was, yeah. So y'all go watch part one. It's just an update video essentially. I try to rush through it. I still left some. I kind of left some things out, but even then, it was a lot. But you got the gist of what you need to get the gist of. So the clip off for me. So we're talking about the clip off, right? The clip off for me isn't just about, and these are some of the downloads that I got too, by the way. But what the clip off is actually was what it was meant to be. So for me, the clip off isn't just about trauma. Trauma is half of it. It's not even about trauma at all. It's about descending into the underworld or descending and collecting your shadow shards back, your dream shards, your soul cells back, and making yourself whole again. It's not about healing your trauma. Okay. And like I said, I'm not coming for nobody. I'm sorry. I'm very animated. Okay. I'm sorry I'm animated, but it's not about healing your fucking trauma because my ancestors, our ancestors, our ancient ones, our old ones, right? They, our elders, sorry, on spectrum. Um, they didn't do the clip off because they wanted to heal trauma. They didn't see trauma. They wanted to be whole again. Healing trauma and being whole are two different things because one you're doing for a lifetime. One you're doing for lifetimes. The other you're doing for a life. That's it. For a lifetime. One you're doing for a lifetime. One you're doing for lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? So, what should I say? For a lifetime. For a lifetime. Yeah, that's what I said. Or half a lifetime, depending on the person. But anyways, and I noticed that people, our ancestors who did it, it wasn't a lot of people going down the clip off path. Uh, Excuse me. And I call the clip off path. That's called the underworld, by the way. That's what I got through my tarot reading. But that's what it was referring to. But the clip off is not meant for everybody. The clip off, if I had to say, out of 1,000,000 people, you will probably have 50 people that go to the clip off. And you have even less people actually embodying the void child, right? Because you got some that go and get their black sun and dissolve back into nothingness, the void, and then some that come back as pure stillness. That's not me though. I'm gonna come back. I have a different. It's a lot, but I have a different blueprint than that, and I'm not here. Power equals play for me, and play is your birthright. So that's how that's how I'm wired. That's how I see it. That's how I am. And it's not me having my power back will make me even more human because that's my birthright, right? But anyways, people who talk about the clip off, they're not really doing the clip off. What they refer to the clip off as the left hand path. That's not accurate. The clip off is the prime evil path. Primordial evil. Prime evil path. Do you know how that's spelled? Primeval. Let me just oh God. Oh God. Prime evil. Humans misinterpreted that word and spelled it with an IL, and that's the human version of it. You could just look at it and tell it's just human. Don't even look right. He was always gotta fuck some shit up. But yeah, prime evil path. And what the prime evil path is, hold on, before I begin to that, most people they're not working with the clip off, the prime evil path. They're working with the left hand path of Universe A. Universe A, left hand path, is still part of the light path, essentially. right? And this goes to another video too that I got to make about the different paths. I guess I could talk about it now. So yeah, this video is just gonna be about the clip off, and then I gotta make another one. I guess not. HECATE could be in a different video. Um, let me put the sticky note. Can I see this up there? Yeah. The most people who work with the clip off are not cliponians. They don't work with a clip off like that. They're just working with the left hand path of Universe A. Because everybody I followed, every comment that I've seen, everything that I subscribe to, the way they talk about it would be one or two ways. It would be just like, first of all, just trauma, 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 which they talk about that on the left hand path to Universe A like crazy. But everybody talks about trauma, even light workers, even this. Everybody talk about just trauma, trauma, trauma. That's very light coded, very Universe A coded. Um, or they'll be edgy, talk about the darkness, right? Talk about the darkness, and still hold beliefs of the light, and still identify like with the light. They'll identify as left hand path, but then they would diminish that and just completely either say they would be in the left hand path for aesthetics and be liked, or be in the left hand path and still it's like they have to do this Olympics where like yeah, even though but we're not just dark, we're like every time I've heard somebody say they're of the left hand path, they kept saying we're of the light, we're always like we're all of it. And I'm like, well duh, you're all of it. Nobody's You have to be a dumbass bitch. You do. You have to be a dumbass bitch to not know you're more than just darkness. Like, are you dumb? If I go out to the store, me, right? If I go out to the store and get food, I am not going to be like, do I need food today? That's what I'm going to the store to get, right? Another example. Let's say I'm going to a clothing shop to get clothes. Do I question, oh, I don't need clothes. I don't need clothes. We all don't need clothes. We're all birth naked anyway. So like I'm just getting clothes because I want to. No, that's not what we're doing. When I get that food, I'm not saying, oh, I don't need food. I don't need this specific apple. I don't need this specific watermelon. I don't need this specific grape. I don't need this specific can of soup. I don't need this specific bread. But I want it because I like it. Like, we're not saying that, are we? No, because we know that, right? We inherently know that humans are not just one or the other. Duh. The fuck? And then I will hear people of the middle path say, and that's another thing too. I was saying, like, people, it's like they can't claim a side because they feel bad by not saying they're technically I'm a gray witch. Technically, I'm in the middle. We're all in the middle. Everybody should be in the middle. No, everybody should not be in the middle in the sense because we're not all designed the same. Going back to my video where it's called The Nature of Magic is Your Nature. We and I was like, we don't understand magic. These two videos where I talk about nature and I talk about what the fuck? I talk about people's natures and how one thing I wish I knew was like everything is user generated. It's personalized specifically by and for you specifically. So everybody's not meant to be the middle path. You know what the middle path really is? It's for Taoists, people who are monks. Do most people aren't going down that path? They're either one or the other. These paths are very specific. When you go down either one of these paths, you're not denoting or negating any other essence inside of you. Because I'm of left hand path doesn't mean I don't have light, or doesn't mean I'm not balanced. Because I'm the right hand path doesn't mean I have darkness. It doesn't mean I don't have balance. And if I go down the middle path, it doesn't mean I'm perfect. Each one of those paths has their own pros and cons and traps, which are traps that people can fall into. Like, are y'all crazy? Like the middle path, you can become super sterile and have no emotion. The right hand path, you could be too external and finding validation so far outside of yourself, you have no power. The left hand path, you can become an egomaniac. Okay? A huge narcissist. They all have their own issues, right? Right. And it's about balance. It's not balancing being one of all of them. It's about balancing your nature. If your nature is naturally of the darker path, then be that. Be balanced in the dark hand path. If yours is the right hand path, be balanced in the right hand path. If yours is the middle, be balanced in the middle. Like, you can't tell somebody who to be. Only they can, literally, because it's their soul, it's their nature, not yours. For so long, I was trying to be love and light, but when I got the message in my dream that I'm of the underworld, some switched. I was like, oh, okay, we get it now, you know. But yeah, I noticed that most people who are of the left hand path, what time? People who talk about the clip off are people who of the left hand path. And the left hand path is not the clip off. This is another download that I got. The left hand path is the left hand path of the Sephiroth, the tree of life, right? The tree of life still plays into light. That's what most people are in when they talk about the clip off or the left hand path. And because that walks the dark path, but that doesn't delve deep down into the dark path. Because those paths are things are what people walk. People walk the left hand path, right? This is what we say all the time. People walk the middle path. This is what we say all the time. People walk the right hand path. This is what we say all the time. But nobody walks the clip off path because the clip off, and this is a download that I got. The clip off isn't a path you walk. It's something you become. And most people do not become that because all they talk about is trauma. Girl, hit yourself. All I talk about is trauma. This one of my favorite candies ever. Can y'all see this? One of my favorite candies ever. Um, these they're hard caramel suckers. Um, Werther's original. I have a pile of them, and I treat it like it's Dragon's Gold. So yeah, look at my hair. Um, so the primal, the prime evil path is what people call the clip box path. It's not a path. It's an embodiment. It's something you embody. When you embodying the prime evil path, it's not like look at this look at this right here. Primordial evil. Primordial evil isn't evil. But primordial evil is chaotic forces. No, are forces slash beings slash concepts that are so primal, so savage, so chaotic, so disruptive that it's criminal. They are so chaotic, so disruptive, so disorderly, so disrespectful to where their function, oh, they're like that not because they're evil. They're like that because that's just what they are, and that's just how they expand. These are forces that aren't bound, that aren't funneled, that aren't focused through light. These forces go beyond the concept of light. They are pure sovereignty or pure will or pure I am in the most rawest, unhinged, unbound, uncontrolled form. And that's feminine energy. That's what the prime evil is. That's why women were considered evil. That's why the left hand path is called the evil path, and that's the feminine path. Um, because the void, that's the That is literally what the void is, y'all. The primeval path is literally the path of the void child. And that's a path that's a path this character walked. It's called the Void Princess. She has a form called the Void Princess. It's this one right here. This is her Void Princess form. One of my favorite characters ever. But yeah, this is her Oz sorcerer form. Which I find a better one. But people who go down this path don't really go down it. And that's because, like I said, half of it is reintegrating your lost shadow parts, and the other half is to reclaiming your nameless crown. You have to regain your power back, y'all. Just healing or just alchemizing isn't enough. Your birthright is power. We forget that, and nobody talks about real power. Like I said in my last video, I feel like Alphabet telling the wizard you have no real power in the Wizard of Oz, because they don't. You can hear how 90% of people talk about magic, including other magic users. I don't subscribe to that belief, that idea. Um, the prime evil path is the most chaotic, most destructive, most transformative, most powerful path. Not because it's better, but because it's so raw, it's real. It's so undeniable, it shakes you at your very core. It ain't soft because it's not meant to be. It ain't designed to be. Okay? And sorry, I was thinking about HECATE. Um, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be rough on purpose. It's meant to hurt you and harm you on purpose. But not hurt and harm. Let me not say that. I'm sounding like everybody else. It's just disrespectful. Not because it's bad or evil. It's because it's prime evil. Because imagine it's the void at its rawest, at its most realist, at its most truest, and being that unapologetically. There being all that chaos unapologetically and without restraint before construct even was a concept. That's why when you do this path, you're not doing a path. That's why when you descend, you're not just healing trauma. Because you can do that anywhere. You're not descending just to heal trauma. You're descending to integrate your lost or forgotten parts. And then the other half is now it's time to reclaim your power and wield actual power because that is your birthright. Too much. This path is not for anyone. It's extremely rare to see an actual person. I have yet to see a person to actually walk this path because I think everybody who actually walk this path are not online. But I want to be online because this is my platform. That's what I'm called to do. Clearly, right? So I figured, why not share my little journey? I'm evil is not bad. And I remember I said that in my meditation too when I was chanting. I want to be evil. I want to be prime evil. Y'all, keep in mind, I'm saying all of this intuitively. It's just coming out of me. So I was saying that, and this is why once I got the download fully over the course of those 6 days, um, I was like, yeah, I'm prime evil. I want that, and I was saying, I was lamenting. I was like, I want it. I just want it. Give me it. This is no joke. And then I saw the black sun. It was shooting out this rainbow color. It was mostly green, and this golden being with crinkly skin was looking up at me for about 10 seconds. Had a white mask and void eyes, and we locked vision. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm almost done. Um, yeah. So the clip off for me is not a path you walk. It's not a place where you heal trauma. It's a universe you embody, a system you embody. You become prime evil. You become the void child. As fully embodying your black sun, not out of ego, out of hunger, because you want the truest truth. Give me the truest dream. Give me the truest truth. That's what I've been on. Um, um, hold up. Um, I guess I was saw that video and update. I might add. I don't know. I think I'll make. I don't know if I'll make a separate video talking about heaven, hell, or if I'm gonna add it in the other video title. But anyways, and I guess I can add everybody on this list. Um, no, I'll make another video actually about HECATE because I want to add to other playlists. Um, yeah, that's really it. Like I said, I call myself a dark occultist, not necessarily as a label, but more so just as a marker for the path that I'm walking. I'm walking the dark occultist path. I'm embodying the prime evil core. I'm becoming I'm processing as the void child. You know what I mean? I'm on the prime evil embodiment journey. I'm embodying the prime evil universe. Universe B. And I want to let y'all know more about this journey. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna title this either. I'm gonna title both my clip off update, starting the clip off, starting the clip off, and then this one will probably just talking about whatever's on here. I don't know. You'll see. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I hope you understand that. Like I said, I'm not coming for nobody. I'm not saying nobody's bad or wrong. Oh, that's what I've got to say too. The clip off isn't where you go and collect husk. It isn't where you go and collect your dead cells. It's not the part of heaven that's weak and just failed. No, it's heaven's shadow, which means it's whole. It was always whole, but to make it even more true, it was so whole that it overflowed. So when I channeled this, I was seeing um I was being told that it was called overflows. Um some other stuff too, but that's the one that really stuck with me. It was called overflows. And what that is imagine source creating everything, but they put too much power into the universe, too much power into the constructed dream. So all that excess power had to go somewhere. All that excess power, that overflow had to go somewhere. It went to universe B, to the underworld, infernal realms, to the prime evil nature uh, of the dream. Excuse me. You didn't go there because it was a dead place. You went there because it was the most rawest, realest, most powerful, dangerous place where you can feel the most human, the most alive, because you own your shit and you're about your shit. Sorry. And yeah, so I hate hearing people talk about It's just it's death. It's gruesome. It's monstrous. It's evil. It's just bad. And it's like it's none of that. It's raw, real power without any authority or jurisdiction. Limited power. Sorry, I'd say that. So yeah, that's not what the clip off is, and I can say that for absolute fact. Sorry, I'm not trying to be like arrogant or nothing, but I can say that because it never sat right with me. Why people? I kept saying why do people keep calling it Huss like it's dead, like it's bad. That was another reason why I didn't go into it for those 2 years because people kept saying you're gonna lose yourself, you're gonna lose yourself. The fuck? Okay, I guess fine, not my path. But no, the beings in there are friendly. The thing about most people is that they look at everything, and this is the light trauma. This is the light supremacy I talked about, aka white supremacy, aka patriarchy. This is the light supremacy I was talking about that I was unsubscribing from, was because there are so what's that when I one thing I learned about your healing journey is that there are so many microaggressions upon the microaggressions upon the microaggressions that you still have to heal and or not necessarily heal, but to
How much will Matt Van Epps cost you? He supports the plan to cut social.
sorry. Not too much to heal, but to a little video. It's not too much to heal. What am I trying to say? I forgot what I was gonna say now. Thanks, bitch. And I ain't pausing the video to go back. Oh, well, get over it. Um, yeah. So watch through the video while I talk. Yeah. So I hear people say that it's just like this bad place. This. Oh yeah. These beings are our family. They're not just intellectual concepts. They're not just archetypes. They're not just made up. They exist. Just like you are. This is made up. You are just as much as an archetype. You are just as much psychological as any being creation. And why like that? And yeah. If y'all connect to these beings like it's family, it's not that big of a deal. Like I have never once used protection, never once thought about using protection when connecting to my family because it's just family. And that you, all you gotta do is call out to them specifically and only allow their energy to come in. You're good. But we know. I'm assuming we know how to do that, right? We're here on this channel. I'm assuming we know how to do that, right? Just clear that channel with love and compassion, girl. Um, yeah. So when I channeled Lilith the first time, it's in my video. The time I channeled Nine Beings, I said she was a girly pop. Lilith, when she came to me, she was a girly pop. She was not what you ever expect. I don't look at these beings with fear or oh, I gotta have so much respect or else. No, these are families. And if I want to talk shit to them, I do. But it's all love though. That's the thing. Like I told, I haven't asked Lilith this yet, but I think this is true. I think her, Samael, and Lucifer are all in a throuple. And let me tell you where I get that idea from. Um, but sure, you ain't got no, you know what on there, porn. John Constantine. Yeah. Constantine. And what's his best friend name? That's not it. Okay. So in the show, John Constantine, which reminded me of Lucifer for some reason. And Samael was his best friend. So John Constantine had a boyfriend in the show, right? But he didn't just have a boyfriend, that was his best friend. And we all know Lucifer and Samael are essentially the same person, right? They're like twins. They're so close to each other. People they're so close that people think they are the same person. And this is how John and his best friend is, right? They're in a relationship, but it wasn't just them. Hold up, it was John, his best friend that he was in a relationship with, and one of my favorite DC character, Zatanna. So John was in a relationship with that his best friend, that one guy, and her. They were all magicians, right? And they all three was in a relationship. I can't find like a clip where it shows all three of them together. But you see here, he kissed on her, he loves her. In the comic books, John Constantine was in a relationship with her and his best friend at the exact same time. They were all in a three-way relationship, a throuple. And that's how I see Lucifer, um, Lilith, and Samael. I know they fucking. I know they're all three fucking. I'm not stupid. And I said that out loud, but I'm gonna ask them personally, so we ain't gotta worry about that. Um, so that's a little side note. But yeah, they're family, y'all. They're just close to us. They're our family. They're literally our family within the next room, next door over. Because every plane is together. It's literally just access the room. Honestly, and you have to have the key for it. That's literally all it is. Their doors are locked. They're not just shut. So you need to knock on the door and get the key. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so last part is I want to talk about HECATE real quick. I was gonna make this video, but I'm including HECATE um in my playlist, in my HECATE playlist, and I include this in my Dark Occultist playlist. So it's fine. Um, so HECATE, the download that I got from HECATE was first of all, I want to say this. I've heard people say that HECATE was the first dragon. That is true. And I've also got the download that Lilith came from HECATE. And here's how. HECATE was never meant to be the mother maiden crone. Yes, that's part of her, but that's like the most human part of her. To put it, the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it. Mother maiden crone is the most human part of HECATE. But truest part of HECATE, going back to my video where I said, just too much chaos. No. So much so where I was like, the purpose of the true source and how I talked about pure imagination, right? Did I make a video called Pure Imagination? No, I didn't. I think it's just that source video. I swore I thought I made another video talking more about that. Uh, so big, so big, so big, so big. Okay, so it's just this video. It's 40 minutes. It's good. But I talk about this video, True Imagination. I also got this one called True Imagination. This is a different True Imagination. And this is the true source. So they're two different videos. Um, they're really good. They tie into each other, but you don't need to watch both. But it helps. But okay, so we established on this channel. If you've been on this channel, we've established that pure imagination is source, right? And people see source as light because source is anything, right? They're the light. They expand, right? The masculine principle, it expands. And this actually does make more sense if you watch both videos. If you watch the true source and you watch true imagination, they together, they both make sense what I'm about to say. Because the void, the primordial void, the first dream, the bound dreamer, um, they are the fertile soil. They are the womb where everybody came from, including source, right? Because source is the anything of the void, right? The light of the void. One part that I got downloaded in my head yesterday, in my head, was that HECATE, well, it was a few days ago, but it all just came, it all made sense today, or yesterday, technically. Um, HECATE, so pure imagination. needs an opposite, right? Because that's how everything works. So the yin and yang wasn't just talking about how the darkness is in the light, how a little bit of darkness is in the light, and how a little bit of light is in the darkness. And in my first HECATE video, um, being her keys, I talk about how HECATE appeared to me. She showed herself to me as a glowing white orb, golden orb, surrounded by shadow energy, shadow magic. And I think that was also symbolic when she showed me that, because now I'm thinking about it, that's literally how it reminded me of the yin and yang. Source, pure imagination, which y'all call God, isn't the only source out there. They are the source. They are part of the void. That's light. What can grow in the light? What all can the light do? That's light at its highest, at its purest. Hecate wasn't just the mother maiden crone. She was the void. What was it? What did I get? The void, the shadow, oh, and the darkness. The void, shadow, darkness. So she is what I talked about. So she is what pure imagination is. Pure imagination is light, right? He's the yang he. That's another reason why people say he. But I only said he as referring to like the principle, the masculine principle. So let's not get it twisted. Yeah. But pure imagination, they are androgynous. So is Sakate. But pure imagination is the yang energy. Yang energy. Masculine. But they're still androgynous though, because they're anything. They're pure imagination. When they have that darkness in them, obviously it's inevitable. And Hakate is what I called pure dark imagination. So pure imagination source can be called pure light imagination, whereas the purest, because source is the purest form of light, right? Which has a little bit of darkness in it. And Hakate is pure dark imagination, which is source that has a little bit of light in it. One is to show what can happen with all this light, and the one is like what can grow in all this light. The other one is what can grow in all this darkness. Hakate is the void, the shadow, and the darkness. She is like what can grow within nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? I equated them to as twins. They're twins. Hakate is the dark twin. Source, which I'll call source, is because they're both source. Source is the light twin. They're the yang and the yin that came from the primordial void, right? And that's the balance. And I think that's why people really mistake Hakate. People humanize Hakate too much because they don't have the imagination to understand. When you don't have when your imagination is limitless and boundless, you can literally see the concepts in your imagination, in your being, in your imagination, in your mind. How you want to put it? You can literally see it. And for me, when I channel, I talk out loud. So I was walking and pacing in my room, just saying this out loud. And usually when I do stuff like that, it comes full circle within like a few days. Which he did yesterday. Um, because on the astral plane, I remember seeing some dreams where I was talking to her and Belial, and I know I'm doing stuff on the astral plane, like astral work, but I just can't remember yet. But I remember seeing glimpses. So I'm pretty sure I was talking to them as well. So that's probably where this stuff really came from, was our conversations. And that's how I know about Lilith, Lucifer, and Samael. But we're not gonna talk about that just later. Not until I can consciously confirm it. Okay. So but Akate is source. She is source. She is source's dark twin. And source is her light twin. They're both androgynous. They just operate with certain principles leading the way. One is more yang, one is more yin. They're both androgynous. They're both twins. Okay? They're inseparable. That's why they both stay in the void. Hello. because void literally you can do anything. I can't wait to get back there, but and play, not dissolve. But yeah, that's what Hecate is, and that's why it's I don't people you gotta stop trying to make these yes they are these beings these gods are our families, but stop having people have expectations. They have certain filters, certain beliefs and ideas. Once you just allow imagination to be imagination, these beings will come to you in the closest form they possibly can. And the more you evolve, the more closer their appearance and their essence and their truth can ring and resonate, and you can recognize it. So yeah, that's what I want to say. What do you say? But yeah, that's what Akata is, y'all. She is. They are pure dark imagination. What can pure dark imagination? What can grow in the dark? The void, the shadow, the darkness. That's what she is. She's those three. She's those three things. And you have source, right? And they're like what can be created in the light. Hakate is what can grow in the dark. Source is what can be created in the light. Because the darkness is the fertile womb. It gives life. Now, once it gives that life, light takes that and it creates. What can be created with this darkness? Hence the little darkness, right? What can be created with this? Using light. You know what I mean? They define each other. That's why some plants grow in the sun and some grow in the night. Some are poisonous and some will heal you. Some will heal you and some will kill you. That's how I wanted to say it. But yeah, I think that's it. I wanted to say something else because it came to my mind, but I forgot. But yeah, oh, going back to her being the first dragon. Yeah, she was the first dragon. That's why. She was the first dragon. And then going back to Lilith, Lilith and all the dark goddesses came from Hecate. That's Source. That's Lilith's Source's twin, right? That's Source, pure dark imagination. And Source is pure light imagination. The dark beings came from Hecate. Pussy, okay? Her pussy. Her womb. Lilith splintered herself off. That's where she came from. You know what I mean? And not all dark beings, quote unquote, came from Hecate necessarily because Lucifer came from Source. Hence, Source's little and going back into Source having a little bit of darkness. That's what Lucifer. That's what beings like Lucifer are that are more of the light slash masculine alignment. They are that little darkness that left Source. That's what they are. Okay. So, like I said, every dark being didn't come from Akate, and every light being didn't come from Source. Because we also have beings like Segment, which I consider her of the dark feminine path, but I see her as the light dark feminine, if that makes sense. So that's what I was trying to say earlier in my last video when I was talking about Segment. She's of the dark path, but I still see light. That's where the sun comes from, right? Light. Her son. That's the sun in Mani. And Hecate. But yeah. So I just want y'all to say that this is the path that I chose, the dark occultism. I'm choosing to not just study but embody that path. And I'm choosing to embody the Clippoth path, aka it's not a path, but I'm choosing to embody the underworld, the Clippoth, which I call the prime evil path. Because I'm not here to just heal trauma or integrate soul shards. Now I'm looking for power. I am in the process of gaining my power, and the dreams that I've had. I've only had a few dreams so far, only two dreams because I just started this. So I want to come back like maybe in the next 7 days or like next month and just fully talk about what I've been through and talk about what the dreams meant to me because I didn't want to go into too many details the last episode because too long. But I am going to come back maybe it's this month or next month and just talk about where I've been at so far. And I'm going to start doing it where like I'm not going to come every month. I'm going to come maybe like every 6 months and you see where I'm at, right? But I just want to start off with like an official video of where I'm at and where I'm going. And if I don't really post or upload, that's probably why. But I have a gaming channel that I might post and upload to because sometimes I'm in the mood to just post on one channel, which I haven't posted on this channel in a minute. I gotta upload a video. Probably like in the next 2 days. In 3 weeks. Oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna upload a video this week coming up. So it probably be a regular GTA 5 video that I have in the storage archives. But y'all watch this channel, Solar Gaming. It's a really good watch. Like it's a really fun game. Everything is fun. Fun, 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 fun. So yeah, I'm about to go. Where we on? 46 minutes. You talk too damn much. Look at my head. Y'all, I'm cutting my locks off. And I'm starting over. I'm done with locks. We're gonna have a different hairstyle, but I'm gonna grow them out so they get long. I'm growing them out for next year, so I can just cut them off so my hair won't be so short. I'll keep my inches, girl. I don't care what nobody says. But yeah, I love y'all. Um, yeah, look at her. Oh, I love y'all. This is so trifling. Can y'all see me? This is where I'm at, and this is where I want to be, and I'm excited to be on this journey. And yeah, so that's about HECATE. Um, I love feeling that though. I love knowing that because I had that theory actually months ago, but I really didn't sit on it. But this time I just really sat on it and I just channeled it, honestly. Um, yeah, I'm clear cognizant. It's one of my things that I'm actually good at. But look, actually, one thing I learned to do was stop comparing myself. Helps a lot. Now, is there wrong? It's a healthy level of comparison, and then it gets to a point where it's like you're only hurting yourself. And that's what I was doing. So I had to stop that too. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope it made sense. And that's where I'm at. It's gonna be all over the place, like me. I sound stuffy because the air's on. Too cold. So yeah, if I come off different next time y'all see me, hello. Y'all probably won't. Well, depends on when I upload. If I upload well over time you will still see. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just shut up, so okay, y'all. Bye. I love y'all.